in the casa. Oklahoma where the winds come, sweeping down the plain, twisters blow away your kingdom. Noise from the Sooner State, feel it in your eardrum. Way past the beginning and we are nowhere near done. My goodness, I'm nice with it. You can snap back, hold your hat, it's how I'm fitted. Getting fueled up off your hate as if I need it. Why your takes on eating lighter, people say I did it. You didn't know? When I hit the road, dog cities hear me spitting flows. Meanwhile, on tracks, I'm really not your typical spiritual, lyrical miracle, you imbecile. Going harder than a tombstone. Here lies in a method that never saw his doom, though. Joints instrumentally fired by IQ, yo. Rocking like a Lucifer track, but what do you know?
Forward and I can't go back.
Welcome all. This is the Outsiders Green Country Soccer Podcast, a podcast covering FC Tulsa and all soccer in Green Country and surrounding areas. My name is Mario. I'm with one of my good co-hosts, David. Josh is unfortunately sick, so we had to kind of do a substitute. And we have our good buddy, Michael, on with us tonight. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good, guys. How about y'all?
Doing good. David, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh man, it is a beautiful Thursday. It's about 65 degrees outside, beautiful. Can't believe it's November. Lovely weather, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff.
But you know what? It's November and we're talking about Tulsa soccer.
We're going to talk about FC Tulsa. I thought we was going to talk about some championship league. Or Chelsea had a big game this weekend or this week.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that here shortly.
Playing Go Rabak. Yeah, I've been practicing that pronunciation for.
I bet you have.
Go Rabak.
Hold on. We'll talk about Premier League here shortly.
No, we're going. No. This is a Champions League only podcast tonight.
We got a special guest with us tonight. He's a great member of 918 Brigade, a good friend of ours, should be a good friend of yours. He's a great guy, great dad. I mean, all around wonderful guy. I think we've probably known each other maybe 2 or 3 years now.
3 years, basically.
Yeah. So, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, it's been since 2021 when I got into FC Tulsa. I did not know we had a soccer team here in Tulsa, so first game I went like, oh yeah, no. After that, it's just tickets after tickets, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Let's go to the supporter side and support, the fans, the team, the coaches, and it's been an awesome adventure the last 4 years. So, with the 918, with all you guys done, it's been a bless.
That's awesome, man. And I know you bring your wife with you and also your daughter. You want to do a little special shout out real quick? You're more than welcome to get some brownie points. But well, great. Well, this is the time that we normally talk about Premier League, and I know David's dying to talk about it real quick. I hope you don't mind we talk. First of all, do you have a Premier League team?
I don't. I just watch it. Whoever wins,
So this is where Mario goes, hey, we got this Tulsa Blues. You should be a Tulsa Blues.
No. I wasn't going to say that.
We love Chelsea.
I was going to say there's no wrong answer except if it's right.
Yeah, there is. If you mention like 20 other teams, if you don't say Chelsea, Mario will say
Blues.
No. Hold on. What? Disconnection, Michael? What?
What?
But no, seriously. So, David, go ahead. Go and give us your little banter.
Liverpool won in the Champions League this week, so they're stringing some. They're getting it back together. Good job, Liverpool. United sit at home, but man, Mario, Chelsea. Oh, Starboy's not doing it. He's. I think he's bringing that United junk to Chelsea. How do you feel about Starboy coming over there and just not producing W's?
David, I think you're staticky right now. I can't even hear you right now.
Go Red Ball. FA out of, I don't know. Azerbaijan. Come on, bud. You guys got
All right.
man, we don't have enough time. We do not have enough time in the
US,
day to
let's talk
talk.
about USL. Let's
We
go.
we, we 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 do not have enough time in the day for this right here. But huge week in USL. I think we should talk about this in chronological order. But USL has hired a former Premier League exec to run basically the league. How do you feel about that, Mario?
Um, I was excited when I first heard the news. I was like, yes, we have somebody from the Premier League that actually works with a promotion relegation system. But
Yeah.
then, like everything, you just can't read the headline. You got to read into his background, and he's been helping with youth talent. Um, he helped with other board stuff, but nothing like with the Premier League per se for right now. So
So
I was happy
so
with the beginning part of it, but then it was like,
the person they hired was Tony Scholes. He was the chief football officer for the English Premier League. You know, I don't know technically what the term chief football officer is, but what he brings over here to the United States is, he worked with Stoke City for 17 years. Then he worked with the Premier League for 10 years. He worked with Preston North End. He got to work in this system in England where they have promotion role. And he worked pretty in depth with it, not only from the club side, but from the league side as well. So what did we talk about a couple weeks ago when we was like, do we think pro rel can work in the United States? My one big argument is we have to set up infrastructure. To me, this is just another piece of the infrastructure. Someone with knowledge, working knowledge of how it works, what they're going to bring in for television revenue, and this and that, what they're going to do, parachute payments if people when they get knocked down, you know, the amount of budget that they're going to have if they get promoted. It's just another one of those integral pieces of infrastructure that we need. Michael, how do you feel about promotion relegation maybe coming to the United States in a couple of years?
Well, I feel that we need that here. Also, got me thinking maybe our team could mention MLS, you know, chapter in the next couple of years. From my standpoint, we have to have those. So, hey, you're not performing well. We have to give you your downs until you perform well. We'll get you back up. It's like Liga MX. They have two different tiers. So,
Mhm.
that's what I think. It's like, hey, you're not performing well. We have to drink you. You're not performing as you were before.
Yeah. Mario, how do you feel about Scholes coming in?
no, I like it. I hope, like you were saying, that it just involves more, like, it's more. We have somebody with experience that can actually help us manage through
Mhm.
the system of promotion relegation. And with us having a D1, and he's going to be heavily involved on that, that is great for the league. I'm just hoping that it's. I'm hoping that it irons out everything, not just the promotion relegation, but also a lot of other problems that's happening in USL, like territory rights, like like you were saying, parachute payments. It also helps to have somebody with experience like that. Then now investors and also big companies want to put money into it now that they have somebody that has experience in this, and not just guys that want to with ambitions to have promotion relegation.
See, like my whole problem with pro rel is this was set up over in England and Europe a long time ago. Soccer has been a hotbed or a hot sport in the United States for a cup of tea. Like the USL Championship, itself, the USL itself has been around a long time. But what we play in the USL Championship when it was just the USL, we was D3, then moved up to D2. They technically go back to 94, I think, 11 years ago. That's or no, 94, 2004. They go back 15 years, I think, or 2000. They go back to 2000. They literally, it's just 15 years. The FC Tulsa been around 11 years of it. I think that the talking heads in the United States, they just see it. Oh, pro route, it's a ladder. You go up, you go down. You go up, you go down. They don't know the inner working structure of what actual pro rail is, and I think it's going to be a rude awakening when they do it the first year. And let's just say Louisville, all of a sudden has a horrible year, and they get knocked back down. That's the crown jewel of the USL.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to be happy to go down? Think it's going to be a okay, we'll get back to work. I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be a battle, and I think it's just going to take some time. I think it's going to take some development, and maybe we'll get there by 2008. Maybe we won't. It's the USL trying to put the pieces in place where it's got a fighting chance of happening. All right. Got to move on because we got a ton of stuff today, this week. I mean, yeah, you think it's playoffs, regular season's over with, it's all dead and quiet. No, it's hot and heavy right now. The next pretty big piece of news I think came out was in El Paso. Head coach Wilmer Cabrera, his contract's not being renewed, and his assistant coach Kirsten Echeverry is not being renewed. So El Paso without a coach right now. Listen to the USL show today. Listen to All Access. I agree exactly with what the guys on the USL show said about this whole situation. It felt like Wilmer Cabrera was a placeholder. He wasn't intended to be there for a long time. When I think it was Hutchinson before Wilmer Cabrera came in, he left it a mess. He left it an absolute mess. Worst season they ever had last year. Wilmer came in towards the end of the season. He brought in like a Ricky Ruiz or a Robert Coronado up from USL League One. He went and got them, and he settled the ship there in El Paso. And he got it back to that level where El Paso has usually been, about that 4 to 6 seed in the West. Got it back. They're gone. Surprised they didn't move into the front office. Our good friend Ray Sari, who's been on the show before, he's the sporting director there. He's got a lot of work to do, I think, to replace Wilmer. Guys, what do you feel? How do you feel about it?
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, not kind of a shock, but you put your team up front, and you can give out everything you got, and you get smacked with something like that. So you expect those at the end of the season. Hey, do I stay or do I get smacked in the face with a terminal paper in my face?
I am completely shocked at the move from El Paso. For the past couple of years, they've been an up and down club. I mean, the last year was horrible, if I remember right. And then this year to be in the playoffs, yeah, they got eliminated in the first round, in the quarterfinals, but he was doing good. Yeah, he didn't have that much, like, per se cash, like, was spending on players. But the players that they had on there weren't bad. They weren't like all-star Louisville, but they were doing good. And I think they should have given him a little bit more extra time to have his style kind of players on the team.
Have the same playoff results as Louisville.
Oh, boom, boom. But yeah, that's what we're at.
So his mistake was not renewing Joaquin Rivas' contract. Michael, how do you feel about Wilmer Cabrera leaving El Paso?
Oh,
I read, I said tomorrow that he did everything he could. He went to the playoffs, low team. Now, he got, you're like, hey, not renewing your contract, but, he's, I think every coach is there, expect a win, expect to go to the playoffs, but, some it's like, hey, we're not moving forward, or, when they see those contracts with those guys, it's like, well, these people, these players are not getting their contract renewed, so, what are you gonna do? So maybe they give him say, hey, it's time for you to go, because we don't see any advancement next playoffs. You know,
Right.
in the top 8.
I think a lot of the problem they were having problems drawing attendance there. That playoff game, that was for a playoff game, 2,000 people in the stands. That's kind of weak. But let's move on to the next big coaching news. And I think this is the bombshell of all bombshells. I thought the Benny Feilhaber in Oakland was big, but this one was bigger. James Chambers in Colorado Springs. Not only James Chambers, but sporting director Stephen Hogan, both released in Colorado. Colorado made the playoffs. Last year, they won the title outright, champions. So the only thing I see why this happened was I think whoever was above Hogan, that person was a new person. I think he was just clearing house to clear house. I don't. Josh texted our chat group and was like, Mario, and he was like, "Oh, Chambers is out in Colorado." I was like, and my response was dumb. Because that to me is that's just dumb. I don't know how you get rid of title winning coach the year before and the coach that made the playoffs this year and literally took us to 120 minutes to beat in the playoffs.
But would you want a coach that is out there going super slow, complaining about wearing 2 or 3 jackets and running really fast after he's been kind of cited a couple times to hurry up? And then that performance, so we'll talk more about it later, but it was...
I've got all sorts of crap I want to talk about that game, but yeah, let's just talk about James Chambers and his resume. His resume is amazing for the USL Championship.
Yeah.
Downright amazing. Yeah, they had a rough season, but you know what? They didn't bring back Ronaldo Damas. They didn't bring back Delence Pierre. They didn't, Justin Dillon retired midseason. A lot of the people they had on loan last year didn't come back.
Yep.
They worked with loanees this year, try to work with loanees this year. And we all know that working with loanees is a crapshoot. It's going to work or it's not going to work. They got a beautiful field at Widener Field. They filled stands. You'd think they would be able to bring in a certain caliber of player for that, for the infrastructure they have. But he got the team back in the playoffs. He battled through that. He won a title last year, and they don't give him another year to try to get back to that 4, 2, 3, 1 seed, whatever they want. That's Michael. How do you feel about James Chambers leaving in Colorado or being forced out in Colorado?
Well, that dude. I mean, what you were saying, that dude actually made the championships and made it to the playoff this year. I mean, they could have gave him one more good year. Hey, no more loners. We need to get a solid team that will stay up. Off the bat. That's what was my impression.
One more thing that I have to say about that. And yes, we won. Surprise, we won. But it took them for 2 extra times. It took us all the way 90 minutes. We got a goal after 1 minute and extra time, but we didn't beat them. We didn't destroy them like we did the week before. And for them to fire them, I mean, there must have been like a little package deal. If you let one go, the other one leaves. And like you were saying with the USL show, they were commenting on something like that. And it was just, it's sad to see them go. They should have gave them at least another year, but it is what it is. And you get to see us win the championship.
My question was Colorado Springs or James Chambers. Who's better out there in the market, coach-wise? Do you think Ryan Miller from Loudon, who's supposedly on the market, you can bring him in there? Maybe Benny Feilhaber from Oakland? Maybe it's a League One coach. I know a lot of League One coaches left, but I just don't know what Colorado Springs. Maybe I know Shadow Wolf said maybe Wilmer Cabrera is going to come up there and give Colorado some good Tex-Mex food. I don't know. Shout out to Shadow Wolf. But next big news, and I think this is the biggest news and maybe could be the biggest negative in the USL Championship right now. North Carolina FC said, "Hey, we're going to go the OKC Energy route, and we're going to go on hiatus. Hiatus. They're not going to field a team in the championship next year. We might be back in 2028 to go Premier USL Premier. So if USL does have a Division 1 team or league, we're going to try to get there." I hate this for North Carolina. First of all, why do you announce this or let it leak out while you're still in the playoffs? That is what is North Carolina going to play for now? We've seen it with St. Louis SC FC back in 21, I believe, 2021.
21, yeah.
When St. Louis City SC was coming in the MLS, and they were dead in the water. Kind of the same thing with San Diego Loyal in the playoffs. But we all knew that MLS was in that market, and that's the reason they were folding. North Carolina FC, they're going on hiatus. Why would a fan go to the North Carolina playoff game this weekend?
First of all, if you're a North Carolina fan, you've been through a lot more than what we have. First, they self-relegated to League One, and then they made a big deal about being back in the championship.
Hold up. Can we go back in their history before that? They were the Cary Railhawks before that.
Yes.
New owner came in and rebranded North Carolina FC, and everybody hated that because the Cary Railhawks was a pretty legendary name in lower league football in the United States. Go ahead, Mario.
Like we're saying, they went to League One, and then they made a big push about coming back to the championship. And now they're going on hiatus so they can save up some money. And then the topper of it all, they release a letter to the fans saying, hey, we really appreciate all your fandom for the team. But we have a great women's side, the North Carolina Courage. And let me. I just want to talk about this real quick. I am a big proponent for women's soccer. I love it. I watch it. I try to watch it with my kids. I try to watch it with my fiance. But there's two sets of fans, and it sucks sometimes because there's fans for the men's side and there's fans for the women's side. Mostly it's like family for the women's side, and for the men's side, it's more like a little bit of everybody, but not a lot of people are fans of both. They'll say that, but you have to be a special kind of sickle like we are to love both sides, and it's just I feel bad for the North Carolina fans, and like you said before, I wasn't thinking this like the Oklahoma City thing, but the more and more they keep talking, it kind of makes me feel like it's getting as bad as Oklahoma City.
Michael, did you got any opinion on North Carolina leaving the championship?
No, it's just for me. I mean, I didn't know North Carolina until last year with USL 1, and then they upranked to us. Like, I mean, it's like, wow, middle of playoff, you put that information. I was like, yeah, now people what are they going to think about North Carolina now? They're not going to think of that team no more.
Michael, if let's say you're Rodrigo da Costa, you got a playoff game this weekend. What would your mindset be for this game? The fans are going to be pissed. There wasn't good attendance last home game. It was like 2,500 people, something like that. What if you walk out at Wake Med Soccer Park and there's 1,000 people in the stands, and then half of them's, family or something? It looks like an MLS Next Pro game out there. How would you, as a player, how would you feel about this situation?
As a to be honest, if I was a player, I'll give 100%, but I will look just ashamed because it's like, well, just families here, and nobody wants to cheer for our team.
Mario, if you were the USL, would you say this news go ahead and leaks out that North Carolina, would you make North Carolina forfeit their playoff games?
I would, and I'll tell you right now why. Uh, right now, the USL and the USL Players Association are going through some courtside battles and stuff like that, allegations and stuff like that, and uh, to do this right before and then tell them, hey, you got 2 months of your insurance left, and
If
then
they
you
were
got.
multi-year contracts, if they had continuing contracts, yes.
But after this, it's gone. They have to go
Yep.
and find a new team. They got to go and market themselves, and instead of them thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be here next year," and some of them they put some roots on the ground over there,
Mhm.
expecting to be there maybe a year or so. Now they got to go and find a new team or a new league. It's just, I think the USL is going to have to put some like heavy-handed, you know, some kind of restriction for this to ever happen again because this is not looking good on them, especially when they're about to start Premier League One.
So I kind of agree with you. I kind of disagree with you on that. So when I first heard this and they said they were going to give them if they had a contract that was multi-year contract in the future, they were going to give them 2 months of pay. And I was like, oh, I was with the majority saying that's not right. They should be paid for the entirety of the contract. But but it's in the CBA, the expiring CBA that they signed, that the players union signed, saying that if team does fold, the most that the team has to offer them 2 months. It's in the CBA. It's their fault for signing, agreeing to that if that's how they felt. I think that gave ammo to the players union for the new CBA whenever they can get that signed. That will be extended. That maybe it's 6 months pay. I mean, I get what you're saying. They're having to look for, and I'm hearing you saying that. Then I'm thinking, I was like, okay, but the owners will come back and say, well, we got 2 new USL Championship clubs coming up next year. We have 5 or 6 new USL League One teams coming in. The jobs there's going to be more job opportunities next year. So find if they are a player that is, you know, worthy of a position, there's positions out there. So I mean, I think that's a moot point. Yeah, moving costs. That's where I'd be mad if I had to pay moving costs. If I had just signed a 3-year contract and I was like, I'm gonna be settled in to Raleigh, North Carolina for 3 years, and now it's gone and I have to move. I'd be mad about the moving costs and finding, you know, housing is usually wrapped into the contract. So, but it's still you have to pay to move all your crap back and forth. So I get it, and I think it just gives a little bit of ammo in the next CBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's continue moving on. Some news that came out today. Luke Spencer, very own Luke Spencer, USL. You got something. There we go. USL Championship Coach of the Month, second time this year. Congratulations, Coach Luke Spencer. He's also the 918 Brigade Man of the Month for October. So, congratulations, Coach Luke Spencer. 3 wins, 1 draw in October. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. He has to be Coach of the Year in USL. To take a team that would miss the playoffs all the way to the top of the Western Conference, man's Coach of the Year in USL to me. How do you guys feel?
I fully agree. Somebody on a comment section agreeing with you too, saying Coach of the Year. Um, but for me personally, he was the assistant coach last year. He put this team, him, Caleb. I mean, the
Mario,
ownership.
you have to. Mario brought him over here with him. I mean, you gotta give Mario some
Yeah,
credit
Mario
too.
too. And now we are number one in the ending of the season for the Western Conference. We won our first quarterfinal match. We're about to play the semifinals at home. I mean, if he doesn't deserve it, please tell me why not. Because I can't find a flaw.
The only way that they would not give it to him, I think, Danny Cruz has a dog in the fight. Best regular season point per game in the history of USL. But they were the top team last year in the East. I mean, he he improved them, yes, but not. Maybe Brendan Burke and Hartford. I think that's another guy that's got a dog in the fight. Michael, how do you feel?
I feel like he's the man. Last year we didn't make it to the playoffs, and now we're seeing number one, and now where we're at.
Yep.
We're in the we're in the semifinals, and he earned it. He earned that from us. He earned that from the staff, from the players. I mean, I think he's the coach of the year.
Yep. Very much agree with that statement. Other news came out today. Peter Wilson, USL Championship Player of the Month for Oakland Roots. He had 6 goals and 2 assists while scoring in every game in October for Oakland Roots. I'm going to stay on the Peter Wilson topic for just a tad bit. Does he get USL All League first team over, say, Taylor Calhoun or Philip Goodrum as the up front number 9 striker?
I think I would have to. I don't want to, but I think I would have to, because he outscored everybody.
But it didn't matter.
Yeah.
That's my only hiccup on Peter Wilson going to the USL Championship team or All USL. Maybe his second team. But his goals didn't matter. Oakland didn't make the playoffs. Michael, how do you feel?
And it's kind of tough with them. I didn't watch much about him, but I know every game was just a score. It's like, man, it's like, when I saw Tyler's 12 goals, it was like, we can do it. Tyler can do it, But when I saw this guy, it's like, yeah, this guy's he's just breaking the record for the season.
But did he only become the Golden Boot winner because they changed coaches and his type of play fit Benny Philhaber's system better? Because a lot of his goals came after the coaching switch.
That probably is. Probably it is.
Didn't save his coach's job, though.
No.
All right. Last little bit of USL talk before we get into playoff talk. Tampa Bay Rowdies announced, Mario, you know me. This is my favorite time of the year is roster talk. They have already made their first roster announcements. That came out today. Still under contract is for Tampa Bay Rowdies, Robert Castellanos, a guy that I really like. Former Tulsa Roughneck Aaron Guillen. What did he play? 4 games for us?
Yep.
Lawrence White, Luis Alvarez, Lewis Hilton, and Indri Mustali. All staying in Tampa Bay. They're under contract. Not under contract is Manuel Arteaga, Juan Carlos Azacar, Blake Bodley, Nick Moon, and Pacific Nayong Eber. I probably butchered his name, but those are the guys they announced so far. Any of those guys interest you? That's not coming back.
None of them.
No.
None of them.
2 years ago, I was interested in bringing Nick Moon to Tulsa, but I don't know now. He's got 2 more years of mileage on his legs. He played for San Diego Loyal. I don't know. So, that being said, playoff talk. Let's talk playoffs. You ready to move into the playoff talk?
Do you want to talk about the quarterfinal results?
We can certainly do that. Not a lot of goal scoring. 6 total goals in 8 games. I'm gonna throw a stat at you fellas. 11 clean sheets in those games. 11 clean sheets. 3 of those clean sheets are not moving on to the next round of the playoffs. So, how would that make you feel to know that I'm going to say, hey, you're going to get a clean sheet, but you don't get to go in the next round of playoffs?
And good old penalty kicks, I tell you.
There you go. We'll start off in the East. Big news. Detroit. I think we all dogged Detroit the last podcast. I think we all said Louisville's going to score like 11 goals on Detroit. I think I might have said that. I don't know. Detroit beats them 1-0. Haven't had a chance to rewatch that game. Did you get to watch it, Mario?
No, I didn't. I heard about it. I really didn't care. I think I was on FC Tulsa high this whole week. I still am probably. But what about you, Michael? What do you think? What do you think about that match?
And I think when that basically when that corner kick went in and goalie didn't see it, it's like what just happened. So basically, it just was a corner kick coming in, and I can't remember who put it in. It's like wow, like really, and Louisville didn't. Louisville was striking back, and they couldn't hit anything. It was just
Yeah.
goal and hit the goalkeeper every time. So I'm glad that Louisville's not making it in.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all
I think
are. I
I
think
think
we
a
all
lot
are.
of people. I think a lot of people out there in the USL hemisphere is happy with that result. Another Eastern Conference game. Pittsburgh and Hartford went to PKs. Pittsburgh won 4-2 in PKs. Um, really surprised. I heard Michi Nagalina got hurt in that game. I mean, Hartford, I thought firepower was limited after their Mamadou Dieng went to Minnesota United. So to lose a guy like Michi Nagalina, I think that just hurts them offensively. But hey, Rob Vincent and Pittsburgh Riverhounds moving on. Maybe that was a good switch up.
Um,
North Carolina beat Loudon 1-0. Congratulations, North Carolina, and then you have nothing to play for anymore. I mean, so, but you can catch the North Carolina Courage the next Cambridge Super League season or whatever league they play in. And then you got Charleston losing in PKs to Rhode Island, 5-3. The legend of Coke Vegas grows, I guess, stopping 2 PKs. And Charleston, if you told me Charleston was not going to score a goal, I would have called you a liar. Because that offensive that they had with MD Myers and Jackson Conway and Cal Jennings with Aaron Malloy running the train, I just don't know how that happens. I guess there was a little skirmish in that game. Mario, did you get to see that?
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of that. Um, I I don't really watch too much of Charleston, but what happened to Juan Torres? Um,
So, uh, he's not hurt. I've heard he's not in the country right now.
hmm.
I've heard he is not hurt. Maybe there's a beef with the front office management, but I've heard he's had Instagram posts where he's not even in the country right now. No one really out there in the stratosphere of the fan stratosphere knows what's up with that.
Hmm. Well, I think that was their deciding factor. I think in the beginning of the season, I mean, all the way till maybe close to the ending, that was one key factor for them. And for him not having them in the team, I think that's what kind of caused them not to make
I,
it
I,
past the quarterfinals.
I will tell you what I think was the biggest factor in that game is Patriots Point itself, where they
Oh
played
yeah,
at. That field looked horrendous.
it did.
People gripe about FC Tulsa, El Paso, New Mexico playing in a baseball field. You could look at One Oak Field from this past weekend. That field was immaculate. Then you look at a soccer specific stadium like Patriots Point, and that field looked horrendous. Michael, did you get to watch any of the Charleston Rhode Island game?
No, I didn't. I
All right.
just I just basically watched the PKs on YouTube, but I didn't watch the game at all.
All right. We'll move over to the Western Conference in the most offensive game in the whole playoffs. New Mexico beat San Antonio 2-0. I've got no opinion on that. I expect New Mexico to beat San Antonio. I think New Mexico might be one of the most dangerous side in the West, besides a certain state bird team. You guys,
Um,
thoughts on New Mexico San Antonio?
like we said last week, man, that New Mexico team, they're experiencing this. Uh, they're really good, but are they that good, or is San Antonio that bad? Is a better question.
I'm gonna tell you the key right now for New Mexico. Dennis Sanchez is coach. What did he do last year? Took Las Vegas to the Western Conference Finals. Valentin Noel came over from Las Vegas with Dennis Sanchez midseason. Watch New Mexico.
Yeah.
Michael?
I just watching that game, it's like, man, it's like they're basically just running away with the ball with San Antonio. Just these two goals that they made, they basically didn't have a defense. There was no block on defense or anything for them. So you know that's what I can think about. New Mexico's gonna be a tough one if we play with them at the final.
Yep. 4-5 matchup. Phoenix beat El Paso 1-0. I didn't watch the game. Heard that El Paso looked lifeless out there. Did you guys watch that game?
I didn't get to watch it.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. The 2-7 matchup, Sacramento and Orange County went to PKs. Orange County wins 5-4. Watch this game. It was late Sunday night. Couple of highlights from this game was Roro Lopez and Chris Hedgart double red for a little, as Mike Watts called it, a kerfluffle. Basically, Hedgart fouled Roro Lopez. Lopez kind of stood over him for a second. Hedgart did a beautiful double leg takedown on Lopez. Lopez kicked and punched Hedgart, double red. Now I think that cost Sacramento the game.
Yeah.
They look like a totally different team after Rodrigo Lopez left. But the savior of this game, I think, was Tet Cadano. Coming on for Orange County. Goalkeeper switch in like the 117th minute of the game. Not a lot is known about Tet Cadano. Oh, wait, I know a lot about Tet Cadano. NISA. He is a NISA alumni. Played for Irvine Zeta. He's a tall kid. Very good on PKs. And what happened? He saved, I think, the first 2 PKs.
Mm-hmm.
And, it went to sudden death PKs. Orange County wins at 5-4 on penalty kicks. You guys, Orange County beating Sacramento.
Be honest, I don't care. I gotta be real. I don't really care for it. I didn't get to watch it. I'm just ready. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to skip all this to the best topic of tonight. But go ahead, Michael.
Be honest, that was a bit of a tough game, until Lopez just decided to get that red card. It's like, because it was all him. The last 30 minutes was all him throwing that ball and trying to make a goal. But Orange County deserved it. So we up for them. We up if they make it. Play with us.
Yeah, I'm with Michael. Roro was dominating that game for Sacramento. I think Orange County, I heard something like they were 0.34 XG, like the lowest possible XG they could have. They got it. I was screaming at the TV. What is Orange County doing? They have these great wingers. They have Cameron Dunbar. They have Bryce Jamison. They have Muhammad War. Just these guys are just super fast on the wings, and they were playing. I don't even know what the hell they were doing. They weren't utilizing that, and Sacramento was just totally in charge of that game until Lopez got kicked out. Mm-hmm. But Mario wants to talk about that 1-8 matchup. FC Tulsa scholarship. Colorado Springs 1-0.
We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll come back to that. All right. Playoffs are moving on. We're in the conference semifinals this weekend. We got the 4-8 matchup in the East, Pittsburgh versus Detroit City. Is Detroit City going to be the Cinderella of the playoffs here?
What do you think, Mike?
I think so. You always have that Cinderella always in some kind of playoff.
I want to play the villain this time, and we can't have an ace team up there, man. We can't. We can't. No, I don't know. I feel like Rhode Island's more of a Cinderella team, even though they made it all the way to the finals last season. But
I don't.
Pittsburgh, I think, has a better chance of making it for me.
Pittsburgh's defense, they're. I think that's going to be a dogfight. It could go 0-0 and go to PKs. They're really good, unless Augie Williams has like a out of his mind game. If Augie Williams plays like Augie Williams of 2 years ago, Pittsburgh blow it out. Otherwise, I think it's going to PKs, and anything can happen in PKs.
Before we skip on to the next match, what are you guys' prediction for that match?
5-3 PK Pittsburgh. No, wait. 5-3 PK Detroit. I'm sorry.
Okay. What about you, Mike?
I say it's gonna be a Cinderella. It's gonna be 1-0 after 30 minutes of play, extra time.
Who's gonna win?
Detroit.
Detroit. Okay. My prediction. Sorry, Detroit. 2-0 Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
That's the
All
first
right,
time I'll ever vote for a Pittsburgh team, by the way.
All right. The other semifinal in the Eastern Conference, you got North Carolina hosting Rhode Island. I've got Rhode Island winning this 3-1. This is just a different feeling with North Carolina compared to, say, the San Diego Loyal or the St. Louis FC. Those two teams kind of folded on good terms. This team is folding on bad terms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's going to show up in the stands. I don't know if the players are going to rally. I don't see why they would rally. Because basically they're getting told that, sorry, we're going to put our money behind the women's team. And there's nothing wrong with having a women's team. Like you said, Mario. Nothing wrong with having a women's team. But they're not folding the women's team.
No.
They're folding this team. Yes, it's a higher level play what the Courage plays in. But I just don't know if they're going to show up to play. I got 3-1 Rhode Island. J.J. Williams for the hat trick. He's going to have a hattie. I think it's Jojo Quaisira. He got a red card in the previous game for Rhode Island. Shouldn't be available for this game. It's going to be a loss for him. But, yeah. How do you guys feel?
Go ahead, Mike.
I think it'd be like, for me, it's gonna be 2-0. Rhode Island's gonna win. I mean, since what's going to happen in North Carolina, I mean, probably players won't even, think they're gonna care for moving to the final. So for me, it's 2-0 over Rhode Island.
As I said on the podcast with Rhode Island on a comment, I think Rhode Island's going to make it all the way to the East. Last week, I bet that they were going to win 3-2. Slugfest between the last game kind of made me told me to hold back a little bit. So I'm going to say 2-0 victory for Rhode Island.
So since we all picked Rhode Island, North Carolina's going to win. Just the way it happens. All right, let's swing over to the West in the semifinal for the Western Conference. You have the 3-7 matchup. New Mexico United hosts Orange County SC or FC. No, they're SC. It's weird. There's an Orange County FC and there's an Orange County SC. This is Orange County SC. No Chris Hedgart for Orange County in the middle. He's been their workhorse in the middle. I think Usman Silla will be able to fill his role and play that box-to-box mid. They got to get Bryce Jamison going on that right side. Ethan Zubak's going to be more of a target. He got 0 targets in this last game for Orange County. I don't think they can just depend on going to PKs in this one. I think it's going to be a 1-0 New Mexico.
I think right now New Mexico is finding form. Their up top interplay is one of the best. I want to say, other than FC Tulsa, but they're catching form right now. They just beat San Antonio 2-0. They're going to be playing at home. Their goalie, I guess he did an amazing save in the last game, but I don't know. I think at New Mexico, Orange County is going to have some problems, and without their main striker, main goal scorer, they're not going to win. So I'm going to give this to New Mexico.
Mike?
Yeah, well, I'll give New Mexico 3-1. It's I seen what New Mexico did right before with San Antonio. Orange County waited until at the very end, so I think New Mexico will win.
Okay. And we have the 1-5 matchup here in Tulsa, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So, all right, fellas, that big weekend, four games this weekend. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and transition to FC Tulsa. Let's just go right there. So we played Colorado Springs this past weekend and we had 97% of One Oak Field filled up for the first time, I think, ever. The largest crowd in FC Tulsa history, 7,583 people. Guys, all three of us were in the stadium, and it was amazing. Every pundit, every talking head, everybody that I have seen and listened to just absolutely said it was electrifying listening to the crowd through the television even. Everybody said that the atmosphere was insane. I think Tulsa drew the fourth largest crowd out of all 8 of the games, maybe third. But it was the most filled stadium of the whole first round of the playoffs of any of the 8 hosting teams. That's including Louisville City. Guys, that the crowd at One Oak this past weekend, how amazing was that for you guys to be a part of it?
Go ahead, Michael.
Now I feel like I can't. Words can't describe how I felt, but with all the energy of the fans and then the players, and then coach said, when I was watching when coach was talking to the players, like, we gotta win, we gotta win, and it's like, well, I just feel like everybody was into it, into the game, into getting the players motivated so we can attack, strike. Because we had good in attacking, but we couldn't get the ball in. So now I think this week I think we'll attack more and more and make. I think we'll make more goals than what we did last week.
Well, for me, I, I, to be honest, guys, it was the most best attended FC Tulsa match, Tulsa Roughnecks match in the newer era. Um, Seeing people with the rally crowd, seeing us chanting out loud, that game was just memorable. Like, I'm not sure about you guys, but every single chance we had a shot or a free kick, I was ready. Like, I had my smoke bombs going. I was just like pumped to hear how loud this crowd got. And when Lucas scored that goal, it was just breathtaking. It was just everything that we've done as supporters and fans of this club. It was all worth it. I mean, everything I've done since the beginning, everything since you guys have done, is just culminated for this moment, and I want to keep it lasting.
Yep. It was an amazing night in FC Tulsa history. But let's talk about the game. Tulsa defeated Colorado Springs 1-0. It was almost 1-0 after the first minute. There's the tifo, the 80 United 918 Brigade. I know you helped Mario with that awesome tifo there, the little sugar skull. But we almost had the lead after the first minute of the game. Travian Souza had it missed by that much.
Yeah,
It did. It almost went in almost at And to me, that set the table for that how this game is going to be. A lot of people, uh, thought it was kind of a lackluster game because it started to stop. We'll talk about that a little bit, but it felt like every movement had everybody on the edge of the seats. It was, it was awesome. Um, like I said, Souza had that shot right there at the beginning, and we beat Colorado Springs 3-0 the week before, and it was pretty much a wide open, free flowing game, fairly clean game. And he was able to let the horses run. You could tell immediately that Colorado Springs was not going to let that happen again. You could almost immediately. I made the comment that Yuma was coaching the outfield players because they were anytime Tulsa even breathed on them, they were flopping down on the ground.
Yep.
It was we're gonna not let this game flow. We're gonna muddy up this game and see if Tulsa can beat it. And what they don't know, that's how Tulsa's played all year long. That is Tulsa's game. We are the kings of we're gonna grind it out and we're gonna beat you 1-0. Kings of that. Even James Chambers, the now former coach at Colorado Springs, we all saw it. The ball would go out of bounds. He would go get the ball and take baby steps, and hand the ball, and not toss the ball, literally hand the ball off to the players. Did that 3 times. Funny thing happened after we went up 1-0. Luke Spencer did it, and he lost his mind because Luke Spencer did that. He was gesticulating all over. He was all. Colorado Springs thought they were going to play our game in our house and win. Not going to happen. All right.
One thing that I did want to talk about the game, it was a very, very physical game. I mean, Colorado wanted to show them that last time they got tossed around, this time they came back to make this a competitive match. And there's so many times that I've seen just header chances of Colorado's player just pushing or just, like you were saying, either we're flopping, wasting time. It was night and day difference in the last game, and they didn't want to get beat really bad. And they contended for most of the match, but here and there, if we would have had a couple good link-up passings or better shots on goal, I think it would have yet again been another 3-0 victory. But we
they were here for that shithousery. They were. Guy was down hurt on the field. Lamar Batista tries to get a water bottle, and their trainer would not allow him to have the water bottle. It's like, really?
But you know why that happened, right?
I do know why, and we're not going to. Lamar likes to dump out water bottles. That's all I'll say.
Let's just say he's our spirit. He's our spirit. I'm not going to call him a spirit animal, but he's our spirit. We love that shithousery. I mean, in FC Tulsa history, have we ever had a player like that?
It's all gravy. We actually held the possession of the ball, 53-47. Shots were pretty even, 12 total shots to 16. 2 shots on goal for FC Tulsa, 3 for Colorado Springs, and I think the majority of the Colorado Springs shots on goal came that last little barrage there at the very end of the game. I think they had 2 right there. Scary moment happened in the 62nd minute, 60 to 61st minute. Khalil Medkar kind of had a little breakaway. It was a through ball. He was running onto it. He got tripped up by an opposing defender, and when he got tripped up, it launched him forward. And Christian Herrera, the goalkeeper for Colorado Springs, was coming out and kneed him in the head. Khalil was stretchered off the field. FC Tulsa put out a post saying that he was okay, he was alert, everything's good. We don't know the status for this game. We really don't. We won't know probably till the game. But best wishes to Khalil Medkar, speedy recovery. Hope he's fine. But no foul was called on that. It was we all saw it. The ref was not watching that play. He was watching the ball go out of bounds. So it was just an ugly play. It's 0-0 at full time, but in the 92nd minute of the second minute of extra time, we get a beautiful delivery from just right outside the box on a free kick by Jamie Weber. Super sub Stefan Lukic gets on the end of it, puts it in the back of the net. FC Tulsa goes up 1-0. Pretty much the game is over then. Colorado Springs had a brief volley of shots there at the very end. Johan Penaranda made an amazing save to keep it at 1-0. And that's all she wrote. FC Tulsa wins 1-0. Guys, tell me, I'm spewing out because I'm excited. Let me know how you feel about that 1-0 victory for FC Tulsa.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead, Mario. Because I was pumped up when that 1-0 came in. I just we just needed another one after that. But I could live 1-0. But yeah, it was the electrifying from just that one goal made the whole stadium just go crazy.
Man, and I want to talk about a little bit about that goal. I'm not sure if you guys seen the replays of it. I know I have a billion times, but seeing Lukic come in from the outside the box, like not outside, but like top of the box, and just run in and just get a glance on the ball and head it in. I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting for a long time for a set piece just cross like that, right inside the box. Somewhere where that goalie, Herrera, I think is his name, we would think that he would get a clear, obvious touch on the ball. And thank God for Lukic because he just nodded it in. And the way he ran up, I was hoping he ran up to our section. I just wanted to talk to him out there, man, because it was just I was hoping, and I know it wasn't going to happen, but I was just hoping after we scored that goal, referee blew the whistle and called it a game. I think fans would lose their ever-loving mind out of that. But it was just an awesome experience, and seeing the fans, seeing the whole entire place just go crazy. It was just a beautiful match. No, but that's it.
Michael, how'd you feel?
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Dave.
How'd you feel about it?
I felt when he shot that goal, and I thought Herrera would get it. It's like wow, you took a 6-7 player, hands out, he didn't have the hands on, but you took that ball that was coming to him and made a goal. That's all I can think about. And just rerun that same play that he did. It's what's fantastic.
Stefan Lukic, super sub. I think that's his fifth. He's got 8 goals on the season for FC Tulsa, all competitions, playoffs, USL Cup, US Open Cup. Off the bench, I think that's his 5th or 6th goal off the bench. If I'm an opposing team and I see Stefan come off the bench, I'm keying in on him. I really am. But guys, FC Tulsa has not lost the game at One Oak Field since May 21st. A lot of people saying New Mexico's red hot, Phoenix is red hot. FC Tulsa's red hot. 4 wins, one draw in their last 5 games. Haven't lost at One Oak since late May. We're ready to go. Last thoughts on this before we talk a little bit about the Phoenix game.
I got nothing. I'm ready.
No.
Tulsa versus everyone. Bring them on. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about the Phoenix game. Phoenix is not a new team for us to play. This will be our 4th meeting of the year. I know Josh says he's very scared of Phoenix. I think we're all in agreement. Bring on anybody that we like. This is the first time I think in the history of being a Tulsa soccer fan that I say that. I think this team can match up with anybody, because they'll use their physical play to make it their game. 5, and 6 all-time head-to-head matchup. 5 wins, 5 draws, 6 losses against Phoenix Rising. This year, we are 1 win and 2 draws. And I know what you might say, but we lost to them in the PK shootouts. It's considered a draw. It's considered a draw on paper. Yes, we lost to them in PK shootouts in the U.S. Open Cup. Guys, I don't think we can let this game go to PKs. I think this has to be won in the regulation time or in stoppage time, extra time, whatever you want to call it. Phoenix has adjusted their system lately. They're playing more like us.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they went from a four back line system to a three back line. They brought in this his name's Raphael. I'm not even tempted to pronounce the last name. They brought him in late in the season, and he has solidified their back line. Hope Aveyu, great midfielder. They got Remy Cabral still. Charlie Dennis is a guy I'm saying look out for Charlie Dennis. He had the big PK winner for Phoenix in the playoffs. He's been a Tulsa killer. With Phoenix, with Tampa Bay, got to look out for Charlie Dennis. Phoenix is going to come to play. We can't be looking forward. We got to take this one game at a time. Phoenix is a very physical, tough team. Patrick Rakowski in goal is a very talented goalkeeper. He's been there, done that. What's your key for us to attack Phoenix?
Counterattacking. I mean, we are capable of doing it. I'd love to see Taylor Calhera score a couple goals. I love that we can play as a comeback team and, get a late score. But I kind of want to – a lot of people have been talking about how we kind of dried up on our goal scoring. It's not that. I think that there's certain teams, they are homing in on our offense. They're stopping Khalil. They're stopping Taylor. I just think we need to get a couple goals early and then keep the team at bay, keep the other team at bay, and win a 2-0 victory. Or I'm not trying to guess. I'm not trying to predict or nothing like that. But I think if Taylor can get some goals in, I think we can do it. And one player that I want to give a big nudge, and I hope he does a lot more and scores a couple goals. But Alex DeLue, I think it's your time to score some goals, sir.
So I'm gonna stop you right there and I'll let you get back to it. I've heard the same thing. USL show said that. You probably listened to the same podcast. They said the goals are drying up to FC Tulsa. 10 goals for FC Tulsa in the last 5 games. We were averaging 2 goals a game in the last 5 games. We had 3 against Lexington. Let's see. We had 3 against Lexington, 2 against San Antonio, 1 against El Paso, 3 against Colorado Springs, and then 1 against Colorado Springs. I don't see where the goals are drying up.
Yeah.
If you ask any team in the league, in the last 5 games you averaged 2 goals. Is that a good offensive production?
What do you think, Michael?
I think average 10 goals. From my standpoint, as average. We're not drying the boat. I don't see us. I don't see us going dry this next game. There's going to be some goals.
And in like 3 of those games, we had nothing to play for. We already had the 1 seed locked up.
Mm-hmm.
We rested some players. We was on the road to El Paso. I mean, yeah, it's just people talking.
Yeah.
Let them talk. But yeah, Michael, defensively against Phoenix, what do you want to see us do defensively against Phoenix?
Just keep the same 3 that we use. I know, the 3 that we have good CBs in there, so use the same ones and just don't lose the eyesight of the attackers, midfields, because that's one mistake that might come on us. Just get our CBs wire ups and tell them, hey, just focus on the players that are in front of you.
Yeah. Mario, did you see who we had filling the Boubacar Diallo role last game?
Um,
It was Delence Pierre was playing that role.
yeah, he was. And then one more, I did want to bring this up, but is God, I'm freaking Jamie. Yeah, Jamie Weber. Is he playing a little bit more centered, like not as attacking as much? Um, Other than set pieces, he's up there. But for me, I've lately been noticing he's been playing more, a little bit back, behind the CM. Not a CDM position, but he's been playing a little bit more defensive, kind of helping out a little bit. But
So what I seen was he was playing kind of like a 2-man pivot in the middle
yes,
with Gio Coley. And I
yes,
think you're going to see that because we don't have Serato in there. Serato is more of a destroyer in the middle,
yeah,
and Coley and Weber are more uh, technical on ball players. And I think you're going to see them play a 2-man pivot. If one goes up, the other one's going to kind of drop back. The other one goes up, the other one's going to drop back. And you're going to have Pierre kind of filling that Diallo role as the CDM. And I like that because he's a center back. He he'll help Ian and Lamar on that back line. So I mean, you kind of got a triangle with your center backs there, and then you got Stauffer pushing up and Souza pushing up if he starts. Luke Spencer's a tactical genius out there. That's what I'm excited.
no, same here. But, all right, so what are we gonna talk about next?
Well, we got to plug the game. We got to plug the game. It is Saturday, November 8th at 7 p.m. at One Oak Field. They're gonna give out rally towels again for I think this is the first 1,000 people here. Gates open early at 5:30. Guys, be there at One Oak Field. Let's fill it out. It was so close last time. Come on, guys. FC Tulsa was electric. Everybody said it was the best atmosphere in all the playoffs last week. We got to keep the momentum up. Tulsa, the playoffs run through Tulsa, guys. If you don't understand that, with Charleston and Louisville losing, Tulsa was the next highest points in the league this year. That means Tulsa won't go on the road at all. If we make it to the finals, the championship game comes to Tulsa. Tulsa show up, show out. Let's go. 8 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 7 o'clock, One Oak Field, be there. The tailgate, not either United's gonna have hot dog tailgate. I think 4:30 it starts.
Yep, at 4:30.
At 4:30. So go out there, show 83 United, the other supporters group, 918 Brigade, Tulsa Lunatics, show them some love. Section 115 was amazing last game. It was awesome. The supporter section, that was awesome. Every section in the whole stadium was awesome. It was amazing. So yeah, they doing dollar beer. I think they're doing dollar beer, $2 seltzers too. Yeah. And there wasn't really any other FC Tulsa news. Yeah, not a whole lot of local news. You want to go to local and close it out because we've been talking for a bunch.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Not a whole lot of local news. Still trying to see if the League for Clubs put out their schedule pretty soon for Tulsa Athletic. I will pat my team, my boys team on the back. We finished our season this year 9-0, undefeated champs of our division. Plus 73 goal difference. We allowed only 3 goals in 9 games this year. Love every single one of those boys. They improved all year long, every game. They showed intensity, effort, hustle. It was amazing. So congratulations to my son's team. The Wagner U10 Bulldogs. Yeah. Try to get Mario to get his boy to get on our team, but he wouldn't drive him down. It's like, I need a goalkeeper.
Maybe next time. Maybe next season.
Come on, Mario. You know that.
But I do have some other local news that I do want to talk about. ORU, Oral Roberts University's men's soccer team are actually going to be playing in what is it called, the Summit League Championship Tournament. They're going to be playing at Denver against Denver on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. I'm not sure what it's going to be here on. Hopefully, if I do find that out, I will post it on our social medias. We'll get somebody to post them on the social medias, and we'll talk more about that there. But good luck, or are you on the match? But
All right.
well,
that brings us to the time of the show where we do hot takes. Oh, there he is. Oh, golly. We need one producer here. We need one producer. That's all we need. But got any hot takes tonight, Mario?
I'm gonna let our guests. Do you have any hot takes or any shout outs or anything that you just want to say? We would love to hear it.
Got a good one. Who do you think might shoot the ball first at the FC Tulsa game, Calera or DeLu?
Oh man, I think you're setting me up there, but I'm gonna let the goats say first.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Jamie Weber with the first shot. So I'll go with Weber. I'm gonna answer Mario. Alex DeLu.
I'm actually gonna blow both your minds when I tell you this. But the first person that's gonna score a goal for the team will be Batista. I think Lamar, Oklahoma own, will score a goal out header. I think that'll be the first goal, first shot. And if not him, Owen Dam.
Damn.
Wow.
All right. Go ahead, David. I'm gonna save the best for last.
Luke Spencer, do you think he's gonna be our coach next year?
Oh, he
you
better
think
be.
Gonna come sniffing around?
He better be. We got to talk to Ryan. I got his email. I got his number. We need to sign that man for like 3 or 4 more years.
How do you feel about it? Do you think we all know we want him to be here next year? Do you think there's gonna be some sharks coming, try to take him away from us?
What do you think, Michael?
I think we gotta give Luke a good contract in a good amount. For what he did for Tulsa. Last year we didn't make it. This year top one. Yeah, we gotta keep this. We gotta keep him a couple of years. I say at least 2.
All right. One more. I got one more for you guys. With North Carolina leaving, and you shook the magic 8 ball up, and all signs point to yes for Brooklyn FC and Jacksonville coming into the league next year. That's going to put the league at 25 teams. How in the world do you think they're going to make a balanced? I threw out my opinion out there the other day. It's going to be 5 leagues or 5 groups of 5, and you have the California teams and Arizona and Nevada. Like Phoenix, San Antonio, New Mexico, Colorado. It'd put us in the Midwest or whatever you want to call it, with Detroit, Louisville, Lexington, Indiana. What do you guys feel like the structure for the USL Championship is going to be set up next year?
Go ahead, Mike.
I think Dave was right. I'll see. They're probably divided by 5, or they divide it by 3. Midwestern, Southeast, and everybody out in the West.
Yeah. So my whole thing was, you play each group team in your group twice, a home and away. That's 8 games. You play everybody else in the league once. That's 20 games. 28 game season. Throw in the Jägermeister Cup. that'll give you your games. Mario, how do you see the USL Championship setting up next year if it holds steady at 25 teams?
I think it's just going to be two conferences again. I think, um, yeah, like you said, two games, home and away. Um, but I still think it's going to be an Eastern Conference, Western Conference league table. Um, and I think either Birmingham or I think in the 11 when it comes to these.
It's hard, man. I've looked at this, the 25 teams. It, in 2027 when maybe Reno starts back up and maybe Oklahoma City, maybe Atletico Dallas comes in, you have more balance. And if nobody leaves, it's just next year 2026 with 25 teams. It's just gonna be tough. It's gonna be an interesting how they're going to set it up.
Yep.
All right, Mario, go with your hot takes, Mario.
All right. So I've been thinking about this, and I was hoping that it wouldn't come to fruition. So if it comes to fruition, I am so sorry for putting this bad juju out there. But if there was a team that would go not in hiatus but close up shop, who would it be this season?
Well, we already know North Carolina.
Other than North Carolina, to make it an even 24.
It'd be Jacksonville not coming in. Jacksonville or Brooklyn, one of the two not coming in. But I think both those have made strides in the last few weeks to set up to get their ball rolling. I don't know if anybody else is really in a, the honest answer would be Miami, but they're made their steps, their strides. I think they're pretty solid staying in. I just Indy, I'm throwing out a wild card there because they're MLS dreams.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is another one that there's been some quiet rumors about, but I don't know, Mike.
I think one of these teams are going next year to the MLS. We just don't know. I heard that Indy just got a big stadium proposal. So you have Las Vegas Lights. So it could be any of those teams might go somewhere else. Make it 24 the way around, like Dave was saying.
So I got a wild prediction, and it's starting a little by little looking like it might be possible. But what happens if El Paso just shuts down shop? Like the city's not looking like they're really caring that much for the team. I feel bad for the main supporters at 8-notch, but there's nothing really going at El Paso. Their college team's not doing great. The Cowboys are definitely not doing great. I mean, sports-wise over there, they don't have that much, and you would think a city like that would emphasize that club, but it's not. So I wouldn't be surprised with the coaching fire that
they did say they've got a coach that they're going to announce pretty soon.
Yeah, well, we'll see when that happens, but and it could be Ray Sorry too.
I've heard those rumors.
Yeah,
heard those rumors.
All right, but that was my first one. My second one. What do you? Let's just say, we make it all the way. What do you rather see? Do you want to have a Luke Spencer like a trophy, not a trophy, but a statue, or do you want to have a parade downtown?
Parade downtown, because this is a team. If anything, this is the first. This is a team, and I think you see it in the whole, like from Pinaron to Taylor Calhoun, Lamar, AB. This is a team. This group we have for right now, they're in this for each other. They're in this for the city. Parade all the way.
What about you, Mike?
Same boat, parade. I see the team interacting with the fan. I see more stuff that came in this year than last year. Like more invites to, you know, meet the player, meet the team. Last year we barely had that, so I think parade for sure.
Awesome. Well, real quick, I do want to talk about Penaranda, Johan. Last year when he came up to us, there's times that we didn't have great matches, but he always said, just be ready for next year. We're going to be bigger and better. And he's also kept up his word. And thank you for everything you're doing. I love that when you try to block that shot and it went over the goal and you just stay there on the floor just with the biggest smile on your face. And that was awesome. I loved it. I was like, all right, just stay down there. Let the time waste. Let's just blow the whistle.
And I was like, no, get up. You are on a yellow, man. You're on a yellow. Get up.
Okay. That might be true. But boys, guys, do you have anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Well, like David said, gates open up at 5:30. Tailgate is at 4:30. Come and join 83 United, the Lunatics, 918 Brigade. We'll be out there. We'll be ready. Try to leave out of the stadium with your voice gone because I'm definitely going to be doing that. I won't be dressing up this time. We're going to have fun. Enjoy yourself. We sit in our supporter section. Come meet me because I have a couple, about like 6 or 8 of those confetti cannons. And because I sit in the front, I don't want any of that stuff in the front side or behind the goal. So I will be handing them out to other people that is away from the front section. But with all that said, Michael, thank you so much for being on tonight. Really appreciate it. Love what you do when you bring your family. And you're a great guy. If anybody out there you see Michael, please, he's great guy to talk to as well. So thank you so much, Mike. Also, David, thank you so much for taking some time out tonight to be on this show. If y'all have any questions, comments for any of us three, or even Josh, if he's ever again feeling better, come message us. But other than that, my favorite part of the podcast, guys, Vamos Tulsa.
Vamos Tulsa.
Vamos.
Got a chrome. I caught the Glock, mama oldest acting like he grown. Now peep the logic. I got a heap of problems. A mathematician, you see, I gotta keep it honest. I'm past offensive. From my childhood, I force you to forfeit. Turn snitch a crossover, source work for corporate. The hardship is not marked for fake artists barking. The artsy astrologist, a start to your rocket ship. Soon as I change styles, the moment that y'all pocket it. And prophets' eyes prophesize giant size dollar clips for blessings. There ain't no way contested for us outsiders charging 20 G's a session.
Forward and I can't go back. Lessons that I went through, put some questions on my mental. Forward and I can't go back. The stress that I've been through, I left that in the rear view. Forward and I can't go back. Lessons that I went through, put some questions on my mental. Forward and I can't go back. The stress that I've been through, I left that in the rear view.
Yeah, outsiders in the casa. Outside.